This old man stayed poor his entire life, not because he didn't earn money, but because he didn't understand one simple rule. And the day he finally understood it, everything changed. My grandfather once told me something that completely shocked me. He said, "Never just save money." I was confused, because the world always says, save money for the future. But he smiled and said, "No, don't just save money. Learn how to grow it." And then he told me this story. In a quiet village, surrounded by dusty roads and old houses, there lived a man. People called him lazy. Every day, he sat under a large tree, watching the sky, watching people pass by, and dreaming. He would say, "One day I'll open a shop. One day I'll buy a cow. One day I'll become rich." But here's the truth, that one day never came. At first, people laughed at him. Then, slowly, they stopped laughing. Because it wasn't funny anymore. It was sad. His wife carried the burden of the house. She cooked, she cleaned, she took care of everyone. One evening she said softly, "Dreams are beautiful, but dreams don't feed a family. We need money. We need work." He nodded and said, "Someday I'll do something." But days turned into months, months turned into years, and life kept getting harder. Food became less, money almost disappeared. Until one night, his little grandson walked up to him, barefoot, weak, hungry. He asked, "Grandpa, do we have something to eat?" Silence. The grandmother opened the cupboard. It was empty. No bread, no rice, nothing. And in that moment, something broke inside the old man. The next morning, for the first time in his life, he went out to work. The sun was harsh. The ground burned his feet. He worked in the fields for hours. His hands became rough. His back bent in pain. Every night, he returned home exhausted, and his grandson would ask, "Grandpa, what did you bring today?" He would smile and say, "It's not much, but it's something." But listen carefully. Even after working so hard, his life didn't change much. Money came, and money went. Food finished, problems stayed. One day, he heard someone say, "If you want security, save money." That idea stuck in his mind. So he took a glass jar, and every week he dropped coins into it. Clink, clink, clink. That sound gave him hope. "This is our future," he would say. But reality was cruel. He wore torn shoes, skipped meals, ignored his needs, just to save more. Months passed, and finally, the jar was full. Proud and hopeful, he went to the market. He placed the money on the counter and said, "I want 3 sacks of grain." The shopkeeper counted the money and said, "Prices have increased. This will only get you 1.5 sacks." The old man froze. All those months of sacrifice, and still it wasn't enough. That's when he realized something powerful. Saving money alone is not enough. That evening, he sat quietly, watching his neighbors. Some had eggs, some had milk, They looked peaceful. And suddenly, an idea struck him. What if I use my money instead of just saving it? The next day, he did something different. He bought a few chickens. At first, just one egg, then two. He ate some and sold some. Then he bought more chickens. Slowly, things began to change. The house felt alive again. His grandson smiled more. Neighbors started coming to buy eggs. For the first time in his life, his money wasn't just staying, it was growing. One day, he held an egg in his hand and said to his grandson, "This is more powerful than money in a jar. Money can finish, but if you use it wisely, it multiplies." The grandson smiled and said, "Grandpa, you're not lazy anymore." Tears filled the old man's eyes. He said, "I finally understand. Don't just save money, grow it." Money is like water in your hands. If you just hold it, it slips away. But if you place it in the right direction, it flows and multiplies. Most people spend their lives saving money, but successful people, they make money work for them. If this story changed your thinking even a little, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Tailland Secrets, because the next story might change your life.